So now that we've gone over a little bit about what JavaScript can be used for, it's important to talk about how we can actually add JavaScript into our websites. Well, it's kind of similar to how you would integrate CSS. So you could add it into the body of our HTML file, but what we're going to do as always for best practice is we're going to go straight into how you can add JavaScript by having the JavaScript in a separate file. So first of all, let's create our JavaScript file. We've just got a normal tab here, untitled, nothing in there. I'm just going to save this in our new folder, JavaScript practice. I'm just going to call this add to HTML. Obviously you can call the file name whatever you want. So instead of doing .html or .css, all we have to do now is just do .js, which stands for JavaScript. It's really as simple as that. So we've created a separate file called add.html.js. Now, instead of what we were doing for CSS is we were using the link in the head. Now for JavaScript, we actually need to include it in the body. So I'm going to add it at the bottom of the body, right at the end. And we just used, instead of link, like we did for CSS, we use script. And all we have to do, we can remove all this stuff. We don't have to add anything in there. All we have to do is add to this and write src for source equals, and then the name of the file, which is add to html.js. Now the reason why I'm adding it at the bottom of the file is because when your browser opens an HTML file, it reads from the top down. So if you had a lot of JavaScript to load, essentially you could imagine it'd be quite frustrating for a user because they'd have to be waiting for the JavaScript to load before they could see any of the content of the website. So if we do it the other way around, where the website loads the content first, the H1, the paragraphs, whatever we've got going on in there, and then at the end, once all that's loaded, add in the JavaScript, have that loaded. It's just a much better user experience and it makes more sense to most people. So the main points to take away from this are, your JavaScript file, it's the same as saving as HTML or CSS file. You just use the file extension .js when you're saving it. And then all you have to do at the bottom of your body, add the script tag, and within that tag, add src for source, and then equals, in quotations, the name of the file. And it's just that simple. So have a go at just doing that yourself, and then we'll go deeper into actually using JavaScript in the next lecture.